Hello, we are live. Let's see whether the hearts comes. We're so
Yay.
excited that today we have got so many channelers with us today because we're talking about something so super exciting. We have our usual Annie, Sydney, and our once in a while Crystal. But today, I'm so glad that we are all here to share and talk about our very lovely spirit guardians, the dragons. Yay!
Yay.
Yes. Arr.
Sometimes they show up when I
The
do this.
fierce voices come.
Oh, I forgot to open the circle, but let's with my heart intent, I invite all the sentient beings and all our star nations, our elementals to join us today for our beautiful YouTube session about the dragons. I now declare the circle open. Yay! Each and every one of us have our own very personal experience of the dragons. And I thought that it would be really good to talk about them today because next week we're doing our healing circle and it's going to be our spirit guardians, guides. And a lot of us do have the dragons as our personal guardians and guides,
Mm.
right? And there are so many of the dragons who are just working in the background, supporting us and helping Earth. So I open it up to all of you to want to share about your own personal experience about the dragons. But before we get there, I just want to let the audience know if you're joining us for the first time, we are channelers and we channel during our YouTube live. So this is always exciting because we never know what's going to come when the guides want to come through or the guardians want to come through to also have their voices heard through YouTube live. So welcome. So yes, I just want to open up and check with all of you, like either Annie, Sydney, or Crystal, about your own personal experience with the dragons. Who goes first?
Crystal.
Okay. Uh, maybe I want to share the very first time I actually channeled, and it was in a circle. And it actually, the very first being that I channeled was a dragon. Now that I remember, yes, it was a dragon. It was a white dragon, the ancient white dragon. And yeah, it's it was very huge, and it let me felt that it was very, I'll say, old. Yeah, like ancient and old and very wise, I'll say. So the feeling is like you're in this, presence of this very majestic being, actually, but yet so loved. And it also felt like it was like so huge, and it was like everywhere in a way. Yeah. um and but I recall in that session also there was not just that white dragon, there were also other dragons. And that's when I realized that, oh, there are many different dragons, different colors. They come in many different colors, and all have their own unique, I would say, personality. Maybe it's not, I don't know whether personality is the word, traits, right? Yeah.
Mm.
And yes, and I also have a daughter who is very close to the dragons. And actually, true Teresa was the one who shared with me about her lineage, yeah, which was very interesting. And I never knew about that. But yeah, maybe I'll talk about that later. So I'll let Sydney or Annie share about their experience as well.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ah. I
I-
mean, like, when Crystal, you mentioned that like they feel very big. I also noticed that when they come through, like, I typically like it almost feels like the feeling of a very large body
Yeah.
nearby, like coming around the space.
Mm.
And I just like thought that was so interesting. 'Cause so sometimes it takes me a second to figure out like what's
What?
actually there because
Yeah.
of how they show up to me as like the feeling of the body being very
Yeah.
large
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Basically, you just see the body, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. I just see the face.
Oh,
Oh.
They come up forward and I see mostly. Yeah.
it's like
And I
when I
see
was
the
in
nose.
China, and then when one of the earth dragons show up, I remember it very distinctly. It was a green dragon, and I
Mm.
didn't know it was a dragon first because it just glided past me, and I see the scale, the green scale with gold trimmings, very clearly, and I had to like tune in and go, what is this that just glided past me? And it's like dragons. I was like, whoa, it is big. And the only thing, like when it was gliding past me, I could see the scale like right in front of my face. Yeah, they
Mm.
are big. They are big. Yeah. So let's talk about like, when does the dragon show up for us and how they come to support us and help us?
Oh my gosh, the first thing that comes to mind, like us collectively, is whenever we do work with Mother Gaia, when we work on the earth, they tend to show up a lot for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Or anything that is very particular, very difficult to harness, or something that we need like extra help, they always show up too.
Yeah. I feel they always come with a lot of wisdom. It's like
Mm.
when we need like guidance on or even knowledge about something, they would come and share that kind of wisdom. Yeah.
Mm.
I think that they're mostly protective too.
Mm.
It's not just sharing their wisdom. I feel like they're really, I feel that they really, they have their own field. It's like they really protect us when we work with them. Yeah, so I feel very paternal, very maternal kind of energy too. And yeah.
So there was a lot of myth about the dragons, and for a long time, people don't really understand the dragons, but they were very active, especially during the Atlantis time, when they were working very closely with humans and with the fairies.
Thanks.
And they also can take form and shapeshift to humans, but they are mainly dragons. And that's when there's a lot of mythology about the dragons. Like there is the ancient Chinese type of dragons where, they breathe fire or they fly. I think the Chinese
Water,
Chinese
yeah,
ones are watery
water,
primarily.
yeah,
yeah,
right, the water in
and sky. I don't know. They're always flying, right?
yeah, the Chinese dragons are slightly different, right?
Yeah.
And they call them Xiao as well and Long as well.
Yeah.
And then the English, the Western dragons, they're often found in caves. They talk about them in caves, right? And then like Puff the Magic Dragon, where they
Mm.
would have like fire
Fire.
or the little
True.
wings, right? And then
Mm.
there's always like to save the princess, you have to kill the dragon. That's
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
sad. That's so sad. There's so many myths about the dragons. But what I do know, and I know that the dragons and the fairies work very closely together, and they actually can have offsprings together.
Mm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't want to steal the thunder from Crystal. Crystal.
Yeah, and they are actually called dragon fae, which is yeah, it was a new word for me as well. Dragon fae. It's like a total. It's almost like a clan by itself, right? Because when there's this intermarriage or I don't know what you call that, interrelationships.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was also how and Teresa shared about my daughter.
Mm.
And I mean, it's interesting as a parent. I think if I was not in this spiritual path, which I wasn't at the beginning, I was quite against all these dragons, and also because of the spiritual background that I used to be from. Sorry, the religious background that I was from. I was told that dragons were like evil, negative, right? Satanic and all that kind of thing. And I was actually asked to ensure that, children or whoever has any pictures of dragons, storybooks of dragons, soft toys of dragons and all that, like you should dispose it because it's evil. And I actually did that. Yeah. And it's I mean, she was quite young, I think, even though she was upset and she didn't understand. But I was just basically saying, oh no, no, all these are bad. You shouldn't. And I said, you can read the stories about the dragons. I mean, it's in the story, but I don't, not on the cover of a book, for example. Yeah. Um, then only when I met Teresa, sometime after that, actually not too long after that, that's why I felt really bad because it was just a couple of months before where I disposed everything, including her dragon soft toy. And then I met Teresa, and then and then I only realized why was she so have so strong affinity to dragons. She even drew, I mean, she has a whole she draws dragons a lot, and I never understood. At first I thought it's because you read a lot of all these dragon stories, right? Or you watch cartoons and that's why you just like dragons. But yeah, so she used to draw a lot about dragons. She created her own dragon language and all the different kind of dragons. Yeah, like the sea, the air, she had this whole map of dragons.
Wow.
She called it Dragonara. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a whole map, it's almost like the Lord of the Rings, that kind of
Yeah.
map. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Create her own language and all the different characters as well of all the dragons, as in all their personalities and how different they are, all the different unique magic or skills or power that they had, and for what purpose and what they are meant to do as well. So it wasn't like a dragon civilization she created to fight each other. No, but it was how can they live in peace and how do they support each other in supporting the earth, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just very interesting. And then it's like, oh, it's because she was one of them. And that's
More
why
like she's a dragon
she's
fade.
them. Yeah, like
Yeah.
she is them, right? And that's why it comes so natural to her, so easy to her, and I feel really bad actually trying to. It's almost like if I imagine if I take you away from your family, from your relatives, right? That's quite unfair. Yeah.
But I think what is beautiful about acknowledging that aspect of her, which is what a lot of parents didn't do nowadays, is like they will always dismiss it that this is just your imaginary friends and all that. You actually quickly acknowledge that about her and then allow herself to accept herself. Because I have come across a lot of like another child. She's probably now 19, and when she started having all these imaginary friends, according to her parents, and it was dismissed, because to her the dragons were so real, and the parents keep dismissing it, that she started developing self-doubt.
Doubts. Yeah.
And then she became a recluse. She couldn't go to school because to her these are so real. It's like she's living in a world with them existing, and that's with the dragon face or the children of the dragons, where they can sense them. They are part of that grid. That's where, I mean, this is a segue to talk about how the dragons, when they navigate in the earth, between earth and the ethereal realm, they actually have their own grid, and that's where they're able to weave in and out of the etheric and then come to be so present with us at the same time and support Mother Earth in the work that Mother Earth is doing. Yeah, so thank you so much, Crystal, for sharing that beautiful story of your daughter. Yeah, so
I'd like to add just a little tiny, a little bit of information about. It feels like the new generation, maybe Generation Y, or whenever, they have a tendency. I think they are all like connected without being religious or spiritual. I mean, I have my niece, and she is she started to studying engineering, but she took a break. It was hard, and we found out that she was on the spectrum. She
Mm.
found out late, but so they're already at a certain frequency, I would say, or maybe they feel already a lot. And now she's doing, since a year and a half now, she's taking part of a video game creation. So she's specializing into create. I cannot see. She's doing just dragons.
Oh,
So I forgot to.
Oh.
Yeah. So sorry about that. I cannot show you, but she's like, I don't know if I can. No, doesn't want to. Oh, you see
Oh,
a
oh,
little
yes,
bit.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I see
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
That's well, maybe I shouldn't do that because it's her own creation. But I'm
so
so
proud
proud
of
of her.
her.
I'm so
Yes.
proud of her
Spoilers.
because she's connecting with them. And I think that a lot of their younger age, she's 22 now, 23. And but she's been, like fascinated by dragons, I think, like
Mm.
the last 5 or 6 years. So yeah, so if you have children or teenagers or even young adults
Yeah.
that are talking about dragons, please stay open and let them bring out some wisdom, because they're definitely catching or understanding things that we're not always aware of. So be open.
I also want to share one of my own experience where I had a dragon and they are so misunderstood. So
Mm.
I remembered one time I was working with another energy healer and she sensed my dragon and she go, dragons are bad. And she then proceeded to chase my dragon away. And it
Ooh.
was a very ancient dragon who refused to go, and she had to put up a fight to chase my dragon away. And then my dragon left. Um, it was, I guess, go on to elaborate about like how misunderstood dragons are for the longest time. That even for an energy healer, for a spirit, like spiritual person,
Mm.
they have the wrong idea about what dragons are here to do and here to serve. So I've been very blessed that when I went out to apologize, and they were like, don't worry, there is still a baby dragon with me. Not as ancient, because what I had was a very ancient dragon. Because usually dragons, they are from different realms. They're actually from the air, the water, the earth, the light. And the ancient dragon I had actually is one of those rare ones that could go across all realms.
Mm.
So having lost that dragon, I felt really apologetic and sorry about it. But I guess they know that it was not my doing. But I agreed to it because like at that time we didn't know, right?
Yeah.
So now I have my own little baby dragon with me. Unfortunately, it's called baby because they're no longer ancient. They're not ancient, even though they've been with me for like 300 years or something. Yeah. So yeah, there is so much misunderstanding about the dragons, and I really want that to be cleared and clarified that they are really here to support us, to help humanity evolve, and they give so much wisdom, so much energy to us. Sydney, do you have any personal dragon stories?
I mean, I'm just curious because I remember you sharing once where there was this lady who had like trouble, I think it was like trouble with relationships or something like that, and there was a dragon or something with her, if I recall. I was just wondering about that kind of situation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Oh,
was a very
maybe.
sad story. That is a
Yeah.
sad story. Okay, I'll share about that story. And Crystal was, I think Crystal also worked on that
Mm.
case with me.
Mm.
It was a time where during the Atlantis time where there was a lot of misunderstanding about the dragons.
Mm.
And it is also around the time when there was a lot of holy crusaders who came by. And then, of course, the holy crusaders would then condemn anything that is fairies or dragons. And those crusaders would then capture a lot of these dragons, and they would peel their scales
Yeah.
to use it
Mm.
as their armor, and carve out their heart to eat, to give them courage and all that. And if you are a protector of a dragon, then you would be condemned and probably be labeled as blasphemous or
I don't know, witch or whatever.
heretical, right? There's a lot of these labels. So there's this woman who was in love with this dragon, or this dragon was in love with this woman, but for the survival reason, she had to betray the dragon. And therefore, the dragon was eventually captured by the soldiers or the crusaders, and then was tortured, and then eventually lost his life. There was a lot of pain and anger and hurt and revenge at the same time. So when we first channeled this energy that was hanging around her, who was stopping her from falling in love, and then the energy came so angry, and then we're like, who are you? He said, I'm a tree-hated demon, blah blah blah. And we're like, oh, really? He said, yeah, can't you see how evil I look and all that? We're like, okay. But when the guides came and said that you have forgotten that you are a dragon, and that's when everything came crumbling down and the story then got revealed. So it was a really sad times that the dragons had to live through. Yeah, so that's a really sad story, Sydney.
Yeah.
I thought it would be in just an interesting context of like just because we're talking about how they're guides, but for even them, like,
The relationships we have with them, the
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of connection.
Mhm.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, is it time to channel one of them? You know what? It's going to be beautiful because there's three of you here. If you could channel them as a family or as a group, that would be so amazing.
Let's see how it happens.
Let's see how it happens. Yes, let's go. Hello.
We are coming.
Yes.
We are coming.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you on YouTube Live.
We are coming. We are coming.
And you may introduce yourself, like which realm you're from and what's your purpose, and how do you serve on Earth or humanity or the galactic or the universe.
We are babies.
Oh, okay.
We just hatched. We are new.
Mhm.
And we are coming. We are coming to Earth.
And which realm are you from?
We are etheric.
Nice.
We are coming.
Okay, it sounds like you have not birthed yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Waiting, coming through.
Okay.
Many babies.
That's so exciting. It is a beautiful time to have so many of you. Okay,
Thank you for welcoming us.
we will be waiting with a bated breath to have you here with us on Earth. It is a very interesting and possibly challenging times for growth and ascension. So I hope you're prepared and ready for this.
We are anchors.
Nice.
So it is not about our personal ascension, but to spread our own energy to anchor the shift.
Thank you. It is much needed. Your energy to help us anchor for humanity's ascension will be beautiful and necessary.
We will meet you.
Any other dragons want to show up?
Yes.
Hello.
We are from the collective.
The collective?
Great. Yes, we are working here on earth. We are working for nature, trees, earth. We are the survivors. We help also other survivors. It is a difficult time now. Climate change is difficult for us to remain here. Sometimes we have to take breaks or even go to other realms to uh, get some energy
Charge.
as we are supporting, yes, not just charging, healing. It is very difficult right now, especially trees, trees from the above and the trees under the roots are the other side of trees, the other world, the underworld. We work on both sides and worlds. Energetically, sometimes difficult, as Earth is shifting and changing dimensions.
Mhm. But thank you.
That's why newborn or new generation coming along, we are expecting those babies to come and take our place as we are not efficient. It's not that we're not efficient, it's more we need healing too, as we are very active and very tired.
Understand. Thank you so much for the work you've been doing for us.
Pleasure.
Any other dragons want to show up?
Yes, hello.
Hello. And what dragon are you?
I travel across the different galaxies. I am like a traveling dragon, you can say. My role is to go to the different planets of included different galaxies and to see the needs of the different beings living in the different planets. And I will report back on what is required if more help and support is needed from us.
Mm. How would you describe yourself just to help our audience learn more about the dragon realms?
Oh, I am like a very bright light though, because I move very fast between the different dimensions because I'm able to flow. So I am not very large like what you will see, but I can travel very fast.
Mm.
Like a light. You would see me like a light. Yes,
Thank
like
you.
the speed of light.
Thank you so much for being here and then giving us the support when we need them. Thank you. Do we have a dragon who is a guide for a human on Earth?
Yes.
Hello. Introduce us.
Hello. I'm a body shifter, but I am also a guide. I work on different planes. I work here to secure the contacts of some humans. So I'm not just a guide for one person. I am actually working for a group of persons that have accepted to come to Earth for a specific task.
And what
And
task?
mm, about the transition, Mother Gaia changing dimensional and vibration. So they are here to uplift the frequencies and also the vibrations, mostly healers.
Mm.
So I am their guardians, and I'm one of them. We're actually also a very group. We call ourselves sometimes collectives. So some of the guides are working with humans, some of them are working also directly with the elements here, nature on Earth.
Mm.
And yes,
In my
we
ex
travel sometimes also in many orbs. So we're gigantic, but sometimes we're minuscule. Very, we can shift our bodies too. So really to very small to very big.
yes,
So we can contain or travel and bring uh, the frequencies. So when we work the frequencies and vibrations, we have a tendency to come a little bit smaller. And sometimes when we protect or train or teach, then we are more huge, immense. We emancipate, we expand.
I see. In my experience, when I'm working with the dragons, dragons actually hold a lot of secrets of Earth. And very often, these secrets are only revealed to us when we are ready. So I'm just like to hear more from you now. Are we ready to learn more of how to take care of Earth? And what are some of the secrets that's ready to be revealed to us?
Some individuals, yes. As a collective now, we are working to bring the sum upward. We cannot reveal any secrets until the exact point and vibration and frequency, until we are in this grid or elevation.
Understand. So when
Mm.
you're talking about raising or changing dimensions, where are we at in the shift for Mother Earth of the shift for of the dimensional shift?
You're right in the middle of it. That's why it is so painful for most humans and also for Mother Gaia. Transition, the back and forth. This is the Mother Gaia is doing it on a naturally. It is also, she's here to ascend. Unfortunately, people living on Earth that are not ready to shift, they are creating the resistance.
Mm.
And that's where the impact and the hurt and the, creating cataclysm or disease or illnesses or weather catastrophic weather changing,
Mm.
because you have to move as a collective, you have to come as one, and Mother Gaia is her tone, it is her life, it is meant to be, it is her record, it is her task to go through, and it hasn't been done. And we are all watching, not just dragons, but the whole humanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we to shift to the fifth dimension or the sixth dimension?
Eventually, even the seventh.
Okay. But we are
That's why it hurts. So there's this back and forth, and those oscillations creating waves sometimes, and it's very painful physically, spiritually. For those who are not aware what's going on, could be very, very overwhelming. Yes.
from your experience of what humanity is resisting, what exactly is holding this transition back?
It is a primitive DNA blueprint that doesn't want to change. A blueprint wants to stay the same. It has its own consciousness and somehow, somewhat doesn't want to change. It is any change is like birthing. It is painful. It takes a lot of energy. It is a transition, but it's also rewarding. So it's like the blueprint or the resistance doesn't see what's in it for itself.
Wouldn't we
And is
agree?
afraid of, yeah, it's fear. There's love and fear. So you're asking fear to come along. It won't.
I say, couldn't we change and upgrade the blueprint?
Yes. Good. Very good point. Yes.
Looks like a task for Violet Ray again.
A task for many, Race, actually. At first, you have to be present and also make sure that you are healed. It would be very, maybe risky to do it now. Okay, just put yourself at work. I mean, feeling good, awareness, bringing awareness, being aware, and then be able to see the fluctuation as you are working on your part, and being aware or noticing that you are experiencing fear or whatever. You are somewhat a bit changing the blueprint of it. So the more you're working on yourself, the more you're working on it also.
Thank you. Thank you so
Because
much.
you're working as a collective. Remember, you are one. So whatever you're doing on you for yourself and also for the community or the collective, it will have no choice to shift.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, the Dragon Collective, for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Thank
We
you.
love you so much.
So much love for the dragons. Yes, if there's anybody else, any other dragons waiting on the side, feel free to take the mic.
They have spoken much of what I would have also needed to share.
And who are you?
I can be called the iridescent white dragon. I am very old. And I have guided humans before. You asked about those who have guided individual humans. I do not do it currently, but I have guided in the past, often the same soul across many lives.
Thank you for your service.
What questions do you have? For we could discuss so many topics.
Yes. A lot of people will be wondering, what is the best way to connect? Because not everybody is a channeler, not everybody have their intuition or sixth sense turned on. So if they want to connect, what is the best way to connect with the dragons?
Yes, dragon guides. We often have some affinity to natural forces and different elements. So if one wanted to connect with your own body, care for your health and your senses, engage in things and activities that put you into contact with the natural world. You can swim or hike or be around the flame. These different aspects of nature, of connecting with your environment and the forces of your environment, can also help you connect with our frequency, which is similar.
And through connection, does that support us in tuning more into our gift? Specifically, what sort of gift does the dragons work with?
We have supported many healers, many of those who work the land, and many of those who required a greater sense of personal power, inner energy to keep them fueled in that sense.
Thank you. And what happens to you now that you are so old? Does dragons die? And where do they go next?
It is not the same kind of die that you do your process of transitioning each time, reconfiguring for different experiences. Our energies are similar to the energies of the physical universe all over, and we travel and cross planes, and our rebirth process and our passing is not so straightforward, can be difficult to describe for your words. But yes, our sense of reincarnation is not the same. And we often keep our role through the different lives. Many dragons often choose to be dragons again. But of course, there have been those who enter into the type of birth cycle that you experience. For me, I do not have plans to do so, and I will continue to exist in this manner. I might choose to guide people once again. For me, it is important to my energy to hold a through line of experience, so I have no plans for death at this time.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming forward to share. And thank you so much for your service. I have somebody online here called Elisha Eternal who also want to thank you, great old dragon.
Yes. There is no need to give thanks. It is appreciated.
Rest well. Do you have somebody there too, Crystal?
Feel that just agree with the wisdom of all the dragons. It's like the dragons are the dragons are aligning with all the dragons that are here. Indeed, so much has been shared. And I don't know which dragon I hold. Many dragons are here. But the sense of the energy is dragons are here to guide, protect, to be a friend, even for those who need that kind of assurance that they are not journeying in this life alone, but they are journeying with support, a lot of support. Whenever they need to call on support, they can do so, as what was shared earlier by the white dragon.
Indeed. Does the dragons need healing as well? Can we send you some healing?
Yes, because energetically, as we connect with humanity and also all other beings in all other galaxies and planets, our energy is being shared across. And therefore, energy would need to be replenished in a way. We can do so as well ourselves, regenerating that. However, if with healing and love from all, then everyone can heal together in a more faster way. So that is beautiful that you have brought this up. It is never a one's way, it is together.
Let us gather right now with the channelers that we will give the realm of the dragons some beautiful healing energy from the violet ray grid, from the violet ray. Let me give you some light codes right now. Sarakuturu mikara shiarta, nikumur tukiyata, sanukura kiara katasartu shiorto, inaurura kiara la katasamorta. With so much love and appreciation, we send you the love and healing energy for the dragon realms. Kimuro kutura yara sin. Sano kutusura kishkarakara kimartu. Inakura katasar kushirta. Inarula yata. Sharu kutisira kumarta. Shira katasiarta. Kumurta. As we open our hearts to receive you, the dragons, and your beautiful healing and wisdom, I hope you receive the violet ray energy of healing and love as well. Sharukura miara, inakura katasurtu, shinarta, shinar, shinar. Sending you all so much love and appreciation. I have one question online from Elisha Eternal. The question is, what dragon wisdom do you have for fasting and breathing in prana, plasma, straight into the body? I'm not quite sure if the dragons understand the question or if I need to further rephrase the question. I think the question is more about when they're practicing fasting and breath work that breathe right into the prana or the plasma into the body. What wisdom does one gain from that practice? Can any of the dragons answer that?
There are several interactions at play in this. The augmentation of the eating action and the augmentation of the breathing action go beyond what we specifically may deal with when it comes to what we share with humans. if one were doing these actions as a means of connecting with us, it could perhaps be beneficial, but is not particularly necessary. If you find in your own exploration that this kind of work stimulates you to be more in tune with your physicality, your energetic body, and all of its components, then you might find that connecting with us is more seamless. But these kinds of practices aren't specific to connecting with dragons or a specific wisdom in general. It could be more like a physical means of opening one's sensitivity and attunement to their subtle senses. So it is not just a question for us.
Understand. Thank you for sharing that. We will be wrapping up soon, so if any of the dragons present want to pass us a message for humanity, please share them before we wrap up.
It is always nice and lovely to feel your interaction, your interest, your communication. We are your guides, but it always facilitates when you also synchronizes your thoughts with us. So it goes both ways. It also somewhat a bit rewarding for us. We do it on our own, but it's always nice to have a feedback. So we invite you to connect with us on a regular basis. Don't be afraid to ask anything. And you know what? We're also learning with humans. And it is a fun, loving connection. Feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed, we have been here on Earth with humanity for centuries, and therefore we have so much of love and appreciation for all of humanity. And we look forward, have, as always, from the very beginning until now, to support the ascension of humanity, to build close bonds with humans, to learn and grow together with the humans as well. And so we want to continue to work closely with you. We are actually guides to many humans, but they have not been aware yet. So as you work on yourself, you will become more sensitive and become more aware of our presence there. We look forward to connect with you.
Thank you. We look forward to connecting more with the dragons as well. If there's no more, I invite the channelers to come back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Well, the energy was so massive. It was so beautiful. So beautiful to have the dragons here with us. Wow. You know, I forgot to mention, like, I remember one time when I was working on the Blue Lotus. And then when the Blue Lotus secret was being unveiled to us, Guan Yin and Isis came, and then the White Dragon came. And they talked about how they're working closely with Isis and Guan Yin to be holding the secrets of the Blue Lotus. So now the Blue Lotus has been made known again to us about how this is a beautiful flower that we can use to meditate with and connect with. The dragons actually were holding the secrets for that together with the goddesses. So that was a very beautiful experience working with the dragons. But I think today we have shared many aspects of the dragons, how they are here to serve as protectors, as guardians, as wisdom keepers, and how they have been so misunderstood at so many levels. And in many sense, sometimes I do feel very apologetic towards them, especially during the tough time they went through during the days of the Atlantis time. That was, I think, very sad. Yeah. So I'm just really glad to give them space and opportunity today in our YouTube live to let them share their thoughts and how they serve and how they help us in humanity to grow and ascend. And especially during this time where Mother Gaia is shifting even to seventh dimension. It is so difficult. Like they talk about how our blueprint, which is still very much the old blueprint, and it is so hard to overcome that. And they're all here to support us, to anchor the energy, to be able to shift. So I thought that is quite an interesting piece of information for those who are tuning in. And I hope they take heed of such precious information so that we can continue to work on helping and supporting Mother Gaia in this whole transition so that humanity can continue to ascend. Like we are really still struggling, pockets of us struggling from the third dimension, and now we have to take a gigantic leap to the seventh dimension. Oh my God. It is a journey, quite a journey. Any of things that you girls want to share?
I think what I was picking up also, and already before we started the session today, sometimes I'm already in tune with them, is that something very specific and concrete, like they show me that you can connect with them also with still
Crystals.
not just a yes. And I
Yeah.
heard I don't know if I don't know if it's I have no idea, but I heard Labradorite, one of the blue ones. I don't know
I
which
love
is like
Labradorite. Yeah.
yeah, that's one of them, and the other one like yeah, white tiger.
Yeah.
Mm,
So it's like yeah, so just keep that in your hands and that's a
yeah.
way also to contact them or
It
it
makes
opens the
sense. It's
gate.
a part of the earth.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the Labradorite and Tiger Eyes also have the frequency to help us connect with the dragon realms. Beautiful. Yeah.
Mm.
Suddenly we're also sober because of all
Yeah.
that.
It was just like a lot of them
Mm.
there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so I still feel like I'm up there now.
Mm.
It took me a really long time to come back today because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to. Feels so warm and peaceful, and but in the same time also they have the energy. You know, you feel like it there, the gang, and yeah, you have the wise one. But you also have the more intrepid. I guess this is like a
Yeah,
English word.
a lot of
Yes,
different
the ones
personality
that are a little bit more
traits.
adventurous or yes, yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Just one more thing before we say goodnight is that when we are doing our healing work, the dragons often come in to support
Hmm.
us. And
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful for them creating a protective shield for us for the healing work that we need to do, or give us extra boost of energy. And they come from all different parts of the galaxy to come and support us, and they work so well with all our angels, our other guides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like such good intermediaries between like a lot of like when we have to work on stuff that's like really close to the earth. Then oh man, it's so good to have them in and have their energy be able to interact on like both sides of things.
I think
Yeah.
they
And mostly for
know Earth so
transition, huh?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
Crystal, you're saying?
transitioning.
Oh, sorry. No, I mean, I'm just saying because they are so familiar with Earth, like they've just been around for so long, so they kind of know how to, like you said, like plug in and plug out or connect
Hmm.
everything together.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I want to clarify something though. It's like, we shouldn't put them on a pedestal,
Mm.
right? That's one thing that for us, because we work so closely with all the different elementals and all that, we do know that in their lifetime, they do go through, like with the story I shared about the betrayal,
Exactly.
right? So there is that energy of like, I'm so angry and I want to fight back and I want to take revenge. So there is that aspect of that dragon where they are also just like us, another human species. Nobody put us on a pedestal because we know what we're capable of, right?
Yeah.
So it is so important that when we're working with them as guides, it's just like working with our, say, what do you call them, our ancestors as guides, right?
They're like
Exactly. Yeah.
friends or family, Yeah, like that's why one of the things they said too, right? It's like, oh, even though we're protectors, we're guides, but we're also friends. Because
Hmm.
we're also your friend. We've been here for so long.
Yeah.
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 So we need to know that we are working with them at that level instead of like just putting them
Mm.
on a pedestal. Because I guess humans, we just have that tendency of putting everything that we don't know and not familiar
Oh
with
yeah, yeah. There's
on a
two things that
pedestal.
happen if something's not familiar. It's either on a pedestal or it's in the ground. It's like the worst thing.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
So,
I just want to give everybody the heads up, because in some of the healing work that we have done, I did have to heal some of the dragons for the pain that they've gone through, you know,
mm,
losing their children or being betrayed by the
betrayed.
other dragon
Mm.
realms, and
Yeah.
the love being betrayed and all that.
Yeah.
So I thought that it's very important to point that out. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. So with all that, I just want to say good night. But Elisha did talk about something that, Annie, when you talk about the underworld, maybe want to give a bit of clarification to that, because the dragons talk about how they're helping us to shift the dimensions on Earth,
Hmm.
also the
Hmm.
underworld, and so we do know that the dragons work between realms and in all the different dimensions. And when they
Hmm.
mentioned about the underworld, can they talk a bit more about like what do they do in the underworld? How do they serve in the underworld?
They are, it felt like they're simultaneously working on both fields, because they were related. They were speaking about trees, and trees have like, there's the part that you see, and I could see under the soil. So there's the other part, and this other part from the trees, that there's another world and another multi dimensions that are
Mm.
there, and they are being present. So they work from different levels. That's what I was able to understand in the moment.
Yeah.
I called it underworld, but it's the word that came out. Maybe there would be a
Mm.
better a
Yeah,
better word
exactly.
Like
I
to
the
guess
express.
I,
But
Earth
it's
dragons, basically.
yeah,
It's like the ones
yeah,
that
but
we
it's
saw in Sang Sing Tui.
unseen frequency. That's kind of how it
Mm.
felt like to me.
Mm. Mm.
Um,
mm.
yeah, especially because
Or the
like,
antimatter is
yeah.
other, everything that is there not seen, that, let's
Mm.
call it underworld, or
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
but
underworld is
it's not
a
the spooky one.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I felt it
Mm.
too, Annie, when you were channeling like the other side of the tree and the root system and the mycelium network that exists within soil. So it was like
Th-
that kind of underworld.
yeah,
Not
but that
like
exists
Fun
exactly
maybe.
at the same time. Yeah, you
yeah,
know the
exactly.
strangest, what was the Netflix series?
Oh,
Well,
like
what this
Stranger
like,
Things?
yeah, strange, but not well,
Not
not
as
that a
not
way as
spooky.
aggressive, or not spooky, but there's another, well, maybe where the other dimensions are being held for now that are not being seen. But we can talk about that next time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also
unseen
there's
frequencies.
always as above, so below,
Yes.
Mm-mm.
right? Yeah. Beautiful. Yes, Elisha said that yeah, he or she didn't see it as that way. So that
Mm.
spooky way, the spooky way. So
Just
yeah.
for anyone
Okay.
else's clarification.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for this beautiful channeling sessions with the dragons. I feel so much love for them. And I hope that, as humanity continue to ascend, we work closely with them because they bring so much wisdom and beautiful energy to us. Um, and just here to remind others that we're just going to drop it in the chat no, or the message later, that we actually will be running an event next week, or actually this week Saturday,
Yeah,
which is going to be out meeting our divine guides, your spirit guides. So I think it will be a very beautiful experience for those of
yeah.
you who are keen and interested to meet your guides.
If you're
They may
seeing
just
this, I feel like if you're interested in dragons, like there's probably something going on, you know. Like,
exactly.
Crystal, your story about your daughter, like I'm very into fantasy novels and everything growing up too, but for me it was always fairies. I wasn't as interested in dragons,
Dragons.
right? So it's not like by default everyone's super interested in the topic of dragons, but they are a really common guide that people might have in their life. So if you're curious to connect with them or connect with whoever your guides may be, we are going to be doing that at the end of this week. So yeah.
Just say thank you to our live audience. Thank you so much for tuning in and sending your messages. Love you all so much. And thank you for your support for the dragons. Yes. So with all this, we will have to close the circle with so
Bye-bye.
much
Ciao.
love and appreciation, as above, so below. Sending our love to everyone and those who all tuned in. We now declare the circle closed. So good night, everybody. Just going to end live.
Good
See you
night.
next week, Saturday.
Yes, yes, indeed. Bye bye. Yay. That was beautiful. Thank